Strap on your tool belts and grab a cup of coffee. It's time for My Fix It Up Life with Mark and Teresa.
Where do we find you tonight on our Blab, Allison Victoria, where we're talking about universal design and aging in place and designing for our elder years? Where are you today?
Wait, say that again, the end part?
Where are you? What part of the world are you in?
I am in Chicago. I just landed. I was in Las Vegas and I just got back home to Chicago.
Outstanding. Oh, that's really good. And you know what I see here in my windows? I see someone named Fanuka calling in.
Here.
He's here.
Yeah.
He's here. We'll get him. You know, I don't know. He's, a little bit of the jibber jabber with him.
That's all right. We'll take turns.
We've got people who are here, who are listening, who are watching us, who are tweeting with us. And Teresa would like to say that she's sorry she can't be with us because she's out taking a course right now.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Continued education. That's good. Can you see us, Stephen?
I think I'm here.
Holy smokes.
Can you guys hear
Why are you
me?
in such a dark room?
I'm in my backyard. It's so nice outside.
It's beautiful here in Chicago. Where are you? You're in New York?
I'm in New York. I'm wearing nothing but a tool belt.
Wow, we couldn't tell if you were. Wow.
As it turns out, I have to go.
Oh, there he goes. Already gone. I'm gonna see if I can get some better light.
You know, it actually looks kind of good.
It looks really cool. It's very appropriate for Halloween and stuff. I love it.
I'm gonna turn on one more light. Hold on.
Go for it. Light it up. Because as we talk about age and place, and I will make a ham-handed segue, and hopefully Fanuka can hear me, is lighting is all part of it. It's all part of all these things that we are going to talk about tonight, and hopefully share some stories and get some input from, why, Stephen, you are glowing. Oh, so
he looks
glowy.
much better.
You know what's ironic? I'm a contractor and I can't find a light bulb. I don't have a light bulb. I'm a light bulb. Put that. List. Do I look like a head without a body right now?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm like that.
Oh, you look really, really cool. Keep going. Keep doing it. I'm trying to find a cooler spot in my house, and I just couldn't find anything to make.
I like your house. I was noticing. The first thing I looked at was the casing and the downlights. That's all I'm right behind. I like it. Is this Chicago?
Yeah. So this window behind me is what looks out to Wicker Park, which is a very interesting window into the reality of Chicago. I see a lot of fun stuff over here.
What's Wicker Park?
I bet every now and then you're like,
huh?
What's Wicker Park all about, Allison?
Wicker Park is extremely eclectic. That's the word I'll use. By day you have children playing in the park, and then you have me going to the park with WD-40 and putting it all over the swings because it drives me insane. and at night you have straight up murder and just a lot of gross stuff going on.
Oh, good times.
Yeah.
It's a great time to visit Chicago. I see a question there, Mark. I'm gonna throw a question out. Is it difficult to make a home handicapped accessible in the bigger cities? And are permits harder to get? Who wants to answer that question?
So what city are we talking about? Can we ask them questions instead of writing?
They're asking any city. Does it take longer to get permits? And this one comes from Picola. Hello, Picola. She's a huge Matt Minster fan, by the way. I know who she is. She's a great person. Follow each other on Twitter.
Not here yet.
No, but she's waiting, right? Right, Picola? Say it. I'm waiting for Matt.
Oh, I know. Right? The Cubbies just won, everybody. Chicago Cubs just won it again.
Wow.
Congrats. I got to win tonight. I was going to a Met game tonight, Mark, and then I realized I had plans, and here I am.
That's what I'm talking about. Right there.
You, buddy.
Right there.
You. All right, so listen, regarding permits, you don't need look, you have to check with every town, but it's not harder to get permits for going handicap accessible. But sometimes permits are required. If you're going to work in a condo or in a building, you're definitely going to need a permit. As a matter of fact, these days when you're acquiring permits, the city wants you to, if you're gutting an apartment and you're trying to get a DOB permit, they are going to make you go handicap accessible in 1 bathroom minimum. It has to be. That's the rule. You gut the apartment, you have to go handicap accessible in at least 1 bathroom. So it is a rule. It's been around since the 80s, since David Dinkins was around. So you do have to get permits.
That's for sure. And what I would add to that is, it's like you said, Steve, getting permits, say, in a small town is going to be probably easier because you're going to have more one-on-one access with building officials. You're going to be able to go into the office. The person is going to be there. You can make an appointment, those sorts of things. The larger the city, my experience has been, the harder it is in terms of planning and logistics to get in front of the person you need to get in front of. And all that says to me, and what my experience has been, is that you need to build out your lead times and get in there with all the stuff that you need, which you should do with any building permit. But in the case of hard to get appointments, that I really emphasize that.
Yeah, I'll go one step further. If you don't get that permit and something goes wrong, the first thing that your homeowners, say God forbid you have a fire, and you go back to your insurance company, you tell them, look, we were renovating, we had a fire. First thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you, not even if you're okay, they're going to ask you, was everyone licensed? And you have a clause in your policy that states that if you use someone who's not licensed, it's null and void your policy. That's pretty much standard throughout the country.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So as we get into some of these questions, and Piccola, that was awesome. Thank you for chiming in like that. Big picture. And Allison, I'll jump to you. Age in place. Yeah. Age in place. And Matt's here. I'm going to back up for a second. He's coming. I get the official control panel over here. Let's see if we can get him in here.
There he is.
I'm trying.
Hey! In the car? I think he's in the car.
Matt, are you
in an automobile?
Matt!
You're in an automobile.
Are you driving?
We're not going to ask you here.
I am not driving. I just dipped out of my son's basketball team meeting. I am here, though.
Hi, buddy.
How are you doing, Allison? Hey, Steven, how are you?
Not bad, my man. Hey, congratulations on Decolab and everything going on with you.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Man, that's good stuff. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Soon. You know what? We've known each other for so long, and I think you're the only you and Grundy are the only ones I haven't met yet.
Really?
We'll remedy that. We'll remedy that.
We will soon.
Yes. There we go. A little better light. It's horrendous lighting. I'm doing the best.
Typical of your work, Matt. Don't worry about it.
Look, I've got
yeah, the bottom half here is real dark.
Okay. That's all right? I'll find an angle.
Well, there you are.
Fanuca's working like this routine. He's just a
that's the Collins video. Yeah. I can hear it calling in.
No, this is awesome, though. This is what Teresa and I, and Teresa found Blab, by the way. This is all Teresa. I'm just sitting here talking. She's literally at a certified aging in place class right now out of town.
Wow.
So she couldn't be here because hotel internet. Do I need to continue that or? Yeah. For freezing it. So hotel internet or parking lot internet?
He's just using his service provider.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, if you can hear us, yeah, X out. I'm going to X him out, and hopefully he comes back. Open seat. He X'd himself out. All right, Fanuka, you got to love you from Sin Lee.
That was here.
We got to get you up here.
This reminds me of conference calls where everyone talks.
It does. It's like, have you guys periscoped yet?
Yes.
Periscoping is weird. It's talking to yourself and pretending you're having a great time if there's no one there.
What?
And there's nothing worse when there's only one person watching. Periscope.
I don't know if I would want to do that.
Oh, no, trust me. You'll get used to it. It's like you just talk to yourself and say, hello, how are you? How are you?
How you doing? Nice to see you.
All right. Do you all work for HGT? We're all part of Scripps some way. I'm with DIY Network. Allison is with both HG and DIY Network.
And Teresa and I are My Fix It Up Life, and you guys from HG and DIY and everywhere else are kind enough to spend your time talking with us and talking with you, Darius, and everybody else who's out there. So we love that.
Yep. How many people do we have here, Mark? Do you know?
77
I can't figure it
are
out.
watching. 70. The Blabby Bunch is who we are.
Got it. I see it now up on top. I see it up on top
Yeah.
now. All right. Let's throw us a question.
So yeah, let's hear some questions from out there. But Allison, the question that I was asking you, and Fanuka, I want to hear you too on this, is as we talk about aging in place, we can talk about building codes and grab bars and this and that, and we will and we should. But personally, what does it mean to you? What's been your interaction with it? Have you done it on the shows? Is it behind the scenes in your life? You say, what is your connection to this design thing and the issue that we're all going to face with our parents or our children or whomever will face with us? My children will just change the locks. So that's settled for me.
I mean, listen, I just got back from Las Vegas and I take care of my grandmother. So anything from, replacing her appliances, making sure I'm there just to help her, just do little fix-it things around the house. I mean, for me, it's a huge concern. It's something I deal with every day just because I'm kind of her. I mean, she doesn't need a caretaker. The woman's right around Las Vegas and having a good old time. But, I always have to think that way. I don't have any children. So it's not like
She can handle herself.
She could definitely handle herself. She's a spitfire, but it's something I think about all the time. I mean, I go back and forth between Chicago and Vegas, and my number one reason to go back to Vegas is my yaya, my grandma, and taking care of the house and trying to figure out really what the next step is and where she's going to go and how to design for it, and or just to alter what she currently has to make sure that that's something, it's top of my list right now. So.
Yeah, and I had two people who both my grandparents passed away from Alzheimer's. So I spent a good portion of my life, making sure they were safe. And I would tell people, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just have to use some common sense. For example, if they can't walk well, you want to get rid of thresholds. You want to throw away the throw rugs. You want to get rid of all that stuff. You want to put anti-slip in the bathrooms. You want to put grab bars wherever you can. You want to, now today they have monitoring systems. They didn't have that when my grandparents were sick. But today there's monitoring services that for $65, $70 a month, they're monitoring them. And there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, even right when it comes down to getting phones with bigger numbers. But more importantly, you have to use that common sense and that caution. It's not about spending big bucks. It's about making sure. The number one thing I would say, levers on doors. You get arthritic, hard to grab those handles. And so put levers on your doors, get rid of throw rugs, make sure that they're not going to trip on something. there's any, anything that's going to cause them to trip, you want to correct that right away. You want to put things, lower cabinets that's easier for them to get, that they don't exert a lot of energy. It's almost like going full circle when you have kids. It's almost like you're watching over kids, and you're doing the same thing with the elderly.
Well, yeah, you're switching roles, and again, it comes full circle. I don't have kids, but I definitely feel like I have one with my grandmother, and so all of the things that Stephen that you just said are extremely important. Quick fixes, they don't break the bank. One thing that costs a little more for me to do at her place was to get rid of the full shower and to do a tub shower. And actually, it has like an access door, so she can open the tub up and get in that way. Which is way easier, because that's what terrifies me. And then I invested in, the Nest systems. You control your So I have those in, my house here and my house in Vegas, but I also now connected cameras from her house. So I put 2 cameras in the house, because the last thing I want to do is be here in Chicago or traveling and I'm calling her and she's not there. And, I don't want to have to rely on somebody. And if she has fallen or if something's happened, I can always kind of double check and everything that you said. I mean, the thresholds were extremely important. So I got rid of everything in the house. She had all laminate that I put in about 7 years ago. And so now I put in broadloom carpet. So it's wall-to-wall carpet, which is really gross. And I didn't do in a kitchen. So I do have a little, but like all of those things are so important, especially when you're trying to look after a loved one and you can't be there all the time.
Yeah, Allison, we are going to do a different show on carpeting the kitchen. So if you can just
stay tuned.
Real comeback.
We'll throw in the bathroom as well as you're at it.
You also have to think about smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. You want to keep a fire extinguisher handy in the kitchen and show them how to use it, that they're not worried, God forbid something would happen. You want to clean out your fireplaces for them. It's all about safety. And it's just going back to the basics. It's just making sure, you got to have someone to clean the snow for them. If you can't get there, you hire someone to do it. Things like that. I mean, it was a nightmare when I had to deal with my grandparents. And I don't wish it upon anyone, but if you use some common sense and it's going to be a lot easier for them. You want to clear space in the house for them. You don't want to clutter the place for them. Lights to clap, you laugh to clap on, clap off.
I have that.
It works.
I actually
works.
have one.
You have a clapper, Al?
I have it.
I don't even admit that.
I love you. Okay.
Allison, that is freaky.
And I love it.
That's how I operate my iPhone.
You know what we do? And exactly. But what we do with the bathroom thing, and I think this whole aging in place thing it's a lot of forethought. I think you don't have to be at that point in your life where you think you need to be dealing with this stuff to think about it. Even renovating bathrooms, I could renovate a bathroom for a young couple, maybe a couple in their late 30s, early 40s, my age. And I'm thinking about, why not address it now? While we're in there, let's get rid of the curbs into the showers. Let's make a 34-inch doorway. Let's do all these things that we need to do so that when you're spending the amount of money that some of these renovations, it adds up. And why deal with it later in life when you're maybe not more but able to? Why, if we can have a little bit more foresight and make a pretty looking and accessible bathroom or any space in your home, that should be the jam. Getting ahead of the game rather than playing catch up later.
That's huge advice.
Yeah, that's a good point because he hit it right on the nail. Unfortunately, the elderly people aren't renovating to make their home elderly friendly. They're either going to renovate their home before they become elderly, or they're going to do something because they need it. So it is smart to put the blockings in the wall later on when you're going to want that grab, or even though you don't think it, or even for a shower seat that's going to fold down. in your shower. Look, we prepare ourselves for retirement. You also have to prepare yourself for becoming older and maybe requiring that assistance. So I tell all the younger people, you got to think about then, now, because then it's too late. Then you're trying to make it work.
You're right on point. I was just watching, I don't even think I was like watching like Bloomberg or something. It was talking about like millennials and what, you know, cause us to go into debt in the future. And people would take wild guesses on why we would go in debt. Maybe we're not, you know, saving as much, or we're not putting, you know, we're now so many entrepreneurs and we're putting, you know, our money back into our business instead of investing right. And really the answer was our elders, and the fact that we're going to spend so much money. And I'm seeing this now. I mean, I'm 35 years old in a month, and I have been spending so much money fixing my yaya's place rather than having it done before when she bought the townhome. You know, I mean, think about it. Everything that you guys just said, plan ahead. You know, don't think about this. Like the next time I choose to do any kind of renovation for another property, I'm going to think because of what I'm spending now to fix something that could have been done right the first time.
And I think designing for that gets a bad rap. It gets ugly, utilitarian, you know, hospital type rap. And I think if you're a good designer, or if you're working with a good designer, if you just have a little bit of forethought, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And I think that there's $1 million innovations on the cusp with these millennials getting older and the boomers and all of these people that don't want to live ugly, but they need to live comfortably and they need to live safely. And there's innovation and within design innovation that can make accessible spaces also beautiful. And there's no reason not to. And I would argue across the board, it's like when we doing something eco-friendly. If you're not doing something eco-friendly in a project, you're not trying hard enough. I think if you're not thinking about where you're going to be in 20 years while doing a project, you're missing the boat a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what
you're 100%
that's what
right.
Van said here in our Twitter feed. The basic reason people don't think ahead, a lot of dots there, is because time is faster than they thought. So in other words, time goes by way faster than you think. You turn around and like, wait a minute, I'm retiring from my job. I have arthritis, whatever. Or, you know, Stephen, like you said, there's dementia in your family. Or what Teresa's dealing with her dad, who has Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. And there are no resources for dementia, which is different from aging in place. And Teresa spent a lot of time working and developing some new things that we're going to talk about at DCW Design Construction Week, where I hope all you guys are. And the difference between, Matt, sort of the things we're touching on, and Allison, you touched on them too. No thresholds, the lever door handles, Fanuca, and why not do it now correctly for age in place? Those things are all different when the thing you're dealing with in your age is dementia and not for arthritis. And to use an example she uses often, a person with dementia will walk up to a doormat at the front door and they can't tell if it's this high
and trip
or if it's a hole in the floor. They have no idea. So you got to move that stuff. Color, light, as we've established earlier, Matt, you're lighting expert, so it's the mind game and calming design down. In addition to all of this other age in place curbless showers. By the way, I could talk about that for 2 hours. How to drain those things, it's awesome in a bathroom.
Hey. Yeah, we do it constantly. I think if we can do it, we should. It's a little bit more difficult, but God, with Schluter and Weedy and all these companies out there right now, man, even just doing ramp drains where you've got large format tiles on the floor and you're not, creating a weeble wobble situation, even for a bench in the shower, things along those lines. And the thing about it,
I love it.
Solves a problem, but it's also sleek. It's also hip. It's also stylish. It's
Schluter's perfect because you don't need a curb. And that's what's great about it. Right. And and you know what? You don't think about it now, but it's pretty hard to clean an adult when they need to be clean. There may come a time where that happens. When you think about it, being elderly is being handicapped. It's becoming handicapped. You don't have everything that you need, whether it's your senses or your mobility, or your functions. And so it's just another form of handicap that you have to resolve and take care of. And we take care for the people who are blind and deaf because that's what their present condition is. But the elderly it just happens. The sickness just happens. And it's not planned on. And everything, all of it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that would be too long to address when it comes to someone becoming older. What about the funding? You can go to your local town, and there is available funding for elderly people actually out there. Am I the only person who's? I can't see anybody else on the screen. Did I lose everyone?
We can hear you.
Back I can see you.
No, I can see you, Fanuka. Yeah,
I love the fact that everyone.
I mean, we do. Yeah, hi. I'm actually We've been doing a lot of work with, and you know this, Mark, Rebuilding Together, and that's another organization that's been really a great partnership. I'm actually emceeing an event here in Minneapolis next week for them. And it's not habitat where you're building something for someone. It's coming into a neighborhood and finding a population that is aging and needs certain things, little things done to their homes to keep them in it and to keep them living there and in their community and their group of friends and their support network, all of those things. And they're little things that can happen. And now they can stay in their homes, live with dignity. And, there are organizations like Rebuilding Together out there that do provide funding for.
And here's an interesting fact: 90% of elderly people, if you ask them, do you want to go to live at a spouse's home, or do you want to go live in a home where there's other people around? 90% of them will tell you they want to die in their house.
That
in
is
their
all
house.
over the place,
Absolutely.
And it's so true. And I've got a question for you guys, and I'll throw out your Twitter handles at Allison Victoria 3, at Matt Minster, can't spell it, at Stephen Fanuka, also impossible. So just guess whatever their stuff is. So back to Teresa's dad. He's in a memory care facility. He's 80-something years old, and he needs help. And Fanuka, like you said before, cleaning an adult is a big deal. And that memory care facility costs like $10,000 a month. It's just crap loads of money.
Yeah.
And that was the life situation they were in. And, the ship had sort of sailed already. And they were in an assisted living facility and then to the next thing. But what sometimes people don't think about, and Teresa thinks about this a lot, and I think about it too, is for that same money, and she, like I said, she's at the NAHB CAPS class right now. For that same money, you could you could build a very nice building in your backyard. Tiny house.
Yes.
And I don't want to go crazy with hashtags, but a very small, truly in-law apartment in millions and millions of places around the country. And if your family situation is like that, you can then take care of that person, maybe in your home, maybe in their home, but they're not going somewhere else.
You got to take care. Listen, I always tell people, whether it's a family member or your next door neighbor, you always got to pay it forward. And everyone knows here that I'm a big fan of karma and what comes back to haunt you. Even my neighbors who are elderly, there's a storm, I go out there and I knock on their door and I make sure they're okay. It's about about checking on people. It's about helping other people. Like Matt. I have a lot of respect for Matt. Matt does the Rebuilding Together. I see him all the time on his feet doing it, and I'm always asking myself, should I do this? I'd love to do this. I end up going the other way. I end up, helping out with like George to the Rescue and stuff like that. Constantly giving people free kitchens and free bathrooms whenever I can. I can only do so many a year because it comes out of my pocket. But the bottom line, we don't spend that. We, as a community, don't focus enough. You're making me think even now that I'm doing jobs. I'm going to start pushing more and more to the young people about preparing themselves because I don't think I even do that enough. See, you've inspired me. I don't think I do.
All right.
I don't.
I think it is. I think it's going to be a generational thing.
Matt working with Rebuilding Together, Fanuka, what happened with your grandparents, what I'm going through now with my yaya. I mean, and then also just the thought of, I'm where my money is going to go down the road is actually into helping my grandmother. So whether that's putting her into assisted living, which is not something I want to do. And like you said, she wants to die in her home. She doesn't want to be anywhere else. So to be able to think and be smart about the way we're designing or redesigning. I mean, I see a lot of people in her community even putting tons and tons of money into this renovation to make it look good versus, thinking form and function. Hey, how am I going to be? I mean, it's a 55 plus community, and they're all just trying to kind of keep up with the Joneses and make everything look better versus, how are we going to make this not only sustainable, but something where it's just the longevity is there. We can actually enjoy our homes for the rest of our lives. And I do a lot of work with Habitat. I would love to get more involved with Rebuilding Together, but Habitat's starting to think that way too. I don't think enough, but I think it's on their radar. And I think it's something that's, the little things that I'm doing to fix are things that I should have done, 10 years.
I'm hearing some really funky noises.
Yeah. I think someone's that.
Yeah.
That parking lot?
I don't know what that was. That might be me. You know what? You can blame all the whatever is going wrong.
Is someone flushing a giant toilet over there?
But you know what? I think a sprinkler system just started up over here. But you know what, Al? To piggyback on what you said, and I don't know the best way to actually phrase this, but for better or worse, in what we do for a living, Allison, Steven, and to me, we have a bit of a responsibility in that we get to design things that people see. And we have a platform really to try to break maybe that mindset of just the keeping up with the Joneses when you do a renovation. And maybe being really careful with some of the things that I do on my show and I see you guys doing, where we're stressing some of these more functional aspects of living in your home and living not just now, living later. And I think it can be this is going to change. People are living a lot longer, and there's our solvency might not be ideal when we get to a certain age. We're earning money during our career, but later on in life, we're living off of less. And that's when, if these changes need to be made then, I don't know where that money comes from our kids. Yeah. Like it's going to come from us for our parents and things along those lines. And God, if we can get ahead of it somehow, just changing a mindset, if we can get ahead of it, man, the good that comes from that.
It's true. Someone had asked a question about should we be worried about the resale of the property if they go ahead and modify homes? My answer is, if they can afford to buy your home, they're going to want to do whatever they want to it anyway. And don't put someone else's. Don't put your family first.
We get that question all the time. It's like whether we're crashing or whatever we're doing. It's hey, how can you make my house better for resale? Well, why don't you think about you first? How you live it. It's always out. That's why at the hardware store.
I'm so glad I'm not alone.
Hey, I'm about to sell my home. I'm like, you're the wrong person. A kitchen is one of the most expensive rooms in the house. Mm-hmm. So when you're designing it, you're thinking of all of the hardscape and how you're going to be able to grow old in that kitchen, and it's going to be just dysfunctional. So this whole resale thing, think about how you're using your space. This is your home. If it's about resale, then we're not on the right subject, I don't think.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. I talk about it every home show talk I have. I get on my soapbox about this. And I'm just like, you know what? If there's a realtor in the room, I'll fight with you. I'll say, get out, stop making. I think people get paralyzed by fear out of what the next person that's going to live in their house is going to think about what they did. And I can't say enough, stress enough. Just stop it. I mean, you're making the mortgage payments on this sucker. It's yours. And make it work for you. Analyze your routine. What's your routine? What's your ideal routine? Design to make that even better. And God, I think if you do it well, no one that's ever going to walk into your house later is ever going to question why you did
they
it.
won't. And trust me, they're not going to keep the wallpaper you left on the wall. They're taking it down.
Yep, all the colors gone.
No, that's true. And it's some people think that paint, or they approach paint like, oh, I can't change this. It's painted. Well, you know, you could actually just paint it again.
Yeah, slow down.
But,
you know, that's another thing. You just mentioned something about paint. You know, you got to think about, we're thinking about all the physical ailments, but we haven't taken into consideration the mental anguish that they go through when my dad's now 79. And, you know, my dad wasn't feeling well and he didn't want to go to Europe. I offered to take him to Europe with me. And he said, you know, maybe next year. And I said, why? He goes, I'm just afraid. And I'm depressed about that. I'm getting older. You got to make the rooms feel brighter and better to make them feel happier. So I stay away from dark colors and grays. I put more lights, more lighter colors, happier tones on the walls. I try to get people to feel happy even when they're not happy. It's silly, but it works. It's about trying to keep them just, you don't want the room to feel like a cloudy day. So you got to be also careful with colors.
I'm going to hit you with some statistics right now.
Yep.
5.2 million people in America have Alzheimer's disease. 500,000, 500,000 will be diagnosed this year alone. 3.9 million live at home, and 40% of the caregivers have a household income of less than $50,000. So paint job that makes you feel happy. I mean, that is, are you kidding me? That's great. Lights that work make sense. You know, it doesn't have to be, and Matt, not that it's not important, but it doesn't have to be full, pull the plaster down, move all the pipes, bathroom remodel. And even in the bathroom, you can do simple things to make things more accessible.
Sure. You can do, an accessible vanity, getting lighting right. All of that little stuff is huge. Getting things where you can reach them. Tripping hazards, tile that's slippery. There's that whole, coefficient of friction stuff. All that stuff, a really careful designer would look at. But I think you're right. The statistics are harsh. They're real harsh. I mean, $50,000 household income isn't going to go a long way. Living with dementia, living with just aging is it's not cheap. It's not. There's an accommodation that needs to be made, and it makes me want to put a couple extra bucks aside every month now for when I get there. Buddy, more than I am right now. I gotta start thinking about it. Yeah, you really? Okay. All right, we'll do this. No, we'll be aging in place. I will always be ahead of you in age.
I'll be ahead of all of you. I'm 49, damn it.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna know you all.
That is forever. Awesome. It seems to be the theme that you guys are all talking about too. Is you got the problem now, or you're gonna have whatever the problem is at some point in your life. Start thinking ahead. If that's the one thing I'm taking away from this, it's that. It's really pave the road. And Allison, you started with it all. Pave the road. Don't live across the street from a hellish park. That could be. Just saying.
I would never. My grandmother.
Baby steps, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just got here.
Are you in Chicago, Al? Yeah.
Where are you, Matt?
Okay.
Nice.
I'm in Minneapolis. We're Midwesterners
know.
until Allison leaves in about a month and a half. You know you're gonna be so gone. Ask Allison how much she loves winter.
Start crying.
How's
in a
it
minute.
crashing in the winter, Allison?
Probably getting paid from your clients in the winter. Probably chasing them for money. Ooh,
Oh, yeah, I imagine. Dude, I think it constantly when I watch your show. I don't know how you renovate anything in Manhattan. It seems like an absolute nightmare.
each his
dude.
own. The grass is always greener. You guys rock at what you do. I'm proud of you, and I love
So
both
do
your
you.
shows. And Mark, you and Teresa, I told you PBS last year, you guys inspire me for what you do and how you make it work and how you get it going. And we have a show, and the show puts us on this platform, and you do it all on your own, my man. And you are bigger than all three of us put together, my friend.
Blown you up for that, and I wish Teresa was here. I wish Teresa
Look
was
at that
here
go
'cause
nuts.
she is so the captain of the ship and the genius behind it all. I walk around and talk a lot, but she is. I will definitely tell her that, and of course she's going to watch this. So thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Astro is asking, can you break down the percentage of the budget for each room? So Matt, Allison, why don't you guys take the bathrooms in the kitchen? If you wanted to make something handicapped without breaking the bank, how much do you think someone should put a set aside? And what would be your top 3 most important things? Yes, I'm hosting, Mark. You're welcome.
Good. All right, take this over, Fanuka. Al, you want to go first?
This is a big deal though, because you're not looking at a little expense on that. So you really do need to think about this if you're gutting a kitchen. You need to be thinking about drop-down islands, which is a big thing that I'm doing now. So going from your standard height, dropping it down, which could be a great little kind of, casual seating area, but it's great for prep down the road, whether it's wheelchair accessible, where to easy access versus the high cabinetry. Pull-out drawers, way better than those cabinets with the doors versus, kind of climbing back and trying to dig around and find everything. Those are something that you can easily retrofit in your existing cabinets. So most of us have the doors, and we don't have the luxury to spend the money and get all the pull-out drawers. But now you can retrofit that by going to any home improvement store and putting those drawers into your existing cabinets. So that's a small expense. The other stuff it gets a little more expensive. Obviously, you've got flooring and it's tile. That's something where you can actually put down, like in my Yaya's kitchen, I just put down those little kind of they're kind of a sticky mat in front of the working areas. You can actually
my mother has that.
Worry about her flipping. Just it's little things like that. But I think when it comes to putting that kind of money in, I mean, your kitchen you're spending a lot of money there. So do it right and give it some longevity, not just for me and my 34 years. Thinking ahead
4 years.
about it.
Most important question, Allison.
Young pup.
I always tell people to keep a step in the kitchen, to keep a step ladder with handrails in their closet when they're old. If they have to go up on top, you want them to have that kind of step ladder that has a handrail on it so they can hold on to it.
Sure.
That's a good idea. Most important question, Allison. Yaya. That's awesome. What is that?
That's Greek
Yaya.
grandma.
It's Greek for grandma.
That's awesome. That's lovely.
See, she has a yaya and I have a
You have
nonna.
a nonna.
A nonna.
Mine's a nonna.
I am
And
so
that's
boring.
grandma.
It was grandma and grandpa. Hey, congratulations that you've got them still around. I've lost all my grandparents before I left college.
Mine are gone,
So-
unfortunately, but I still remember them. Right here.
Yeah, my guy is the one left.
Yeah, but I got parents getting there though, so I'm always thinking about that. I mean, that's going to be my reality.
My dad's 79.
4 years old. So I have to my dad has got, he's had quadruple bypass, and he's still working
Okay.
full time, but he's got 2 levels to his house. And of course I have to start thinking that way. But guys, I hope you don't kill me. I have to go. I'm so sorry I landed, and Matt, I really want to hear what you have to say.
Hey, hold on here.
Oh, you want me to do it quick? I'll do it quick for you.
I
Al.
got a surprise
All right,
for you.
bathroom.
Go ahead,
yeah.
do it.
Go.
All right, here's the thing. No, I can't. No, I would say in the bathroom, especially for aging in place, and we do this for the show, make it, when you're going to renovate it, make it big as you can. Take some useless space nearby, knock down a wall. It's going to give you room if you do need to be in a wheelchair later, that you can do a turnaround in the center of that space. It's going to give you the thoroughfare, the traffic flow through that space. It's going to make it a lot easier later. I think grab bars can be implemented into your space at a young age. I don't think that they have to look like those grab bars you see in every hospital. I think that they can be sleek and they can be well thought out, and they can be, taken into account the tile pattern in your shower. All of these things. If you design around it, it doesn't look
Matt,
like a
how long
retrofit.
before a Matt Minster grab bar comes out on the market? I'm just
Decolab
curious.
grab bars.
What time is it? What time is it? Stay tuned, brother. 'cause
You'll
been
see
in my head now.
Minster Twitter, a couple 2x4s and some blocks just screwed on. Done. Moving on.
Done. Yeah, that's
Before
my
we get
house,
on,
though.
I got something we all got to
don't get
do.
the
Ready?
nice
Hold on.
stuff.
Ready? Here, this is for you guys. I went and got this for you. Hold on.
There's a story of a lovely lady.
I feel like we're the Brady Bunch, DIY style.
Anyone else? This might be a little
That's
before
what
Allison's time.
Jonas is,
Allison,
guys.
there's a show called The Brady
See,
Bunch.
Matt, I can give you. Can you see this? I can give you a high five. Down into the thing.
Oh yeah, I'm in the lower left.
I love it.
The meeting's letting out here as well.
The
The
Blabby
basketball
Bunch.
meeting
The
is
Blabby
adjourned.
Bunch.
Something real quick, guys.
Yes.
So, Fanuka, you said it,
Shoot.
and you honestly, I admire you, everything that you do. I love you, Matt. I'm just proud of everybody, all 4 squares here. You guys, we're just keeping it alive and doing what we love, and and the fact that we get to talk about subjects like this and influence people, that means the world to me. And you guys you're just an inspiration too. And it's very cool because, Fanuka, you said it right. You were just thinking, this is inspiring. So for me now, I'm going to start thinking more about it, even though it's in my life with my yaya. But thinking just moving forward, even helping out community and how we kind of address things design.
That's wonderful, Allison. Well said. It's a great way.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, wait a second. Look, wait. Don't
You do
leave
it.
yet, Allison. I got to do Love Fest too. Fanuka, I need to meet you in real life because you've always seemed like an awesome human being, and we need to make that happen.
How about KBIS?
Soon. Allison, I love you. Yeah, well, I'm going to try to get there. It's between 2 home shows,
Yeah,
and I'm going to shoot over to Vegas.
Are you gonna be
Allison,
there?
I love you, and I will see you soon.
Okay, cool.
You got to go.
I'm gonna try
We'll
to,
lock you down, Matt. We'll lock you down.
And then Mark.
Hey,
All right.
Most
Sounds
importantly,
great, guys.
Mark, thanks for having us. Thanks for thinking of us. And more importantly, thanks for bringing up the attention to ourselves and to everybody who was on here. And we had almost 100 people on here. And, you're not going to hit 1 million people, but if you hit every person counts and you move it one person at a time, and that's how things get done, and that's how things get accomplished, and that's how topics get said. So having said that, thanks for having us.
Perfect.
And next time.
Right
yeah,
on,
I
you
got to roll
guys.
too, guys.
Allison, Matt, Fanuka,
Bye.
thank
guys.
you. Watch their shows, HGTV and DIY Network, and check out Teresa's Design Alls, www.designallz.com for help with designing for dementia and moving on for the important stages of life. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Watch our videos. Watch their shows. Hey, we got to go. You guys, to a person, absolutely rock. Thank you. And we are out.